Hey, what is good? We are here, rocking and rolling. JV wins, Dogon SS per usual. Conscious approach on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who has joined us along for the ride as we continue to pump out this logical content. We will be back on our normal schedule next week, but hopefully it doesn't seem like we hopefully it doesn't seem like there was any lapses
Uh,
because you know
we in the
we will
building,
continue
bro.
to
We ain't
yeah
go
we
nowhere, bro.
yeah so hopefully it doesn't seem like there were any lapses because we still made sure to publish content to the channel,
You
but as we always like to say, man, go ahead and do your boys a big old solid. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so, and this is your first time catching wind of what we like to do over here on this channel. We most certainly appreciate it. And so, with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get right into it, man. We got some interesting topics to kick it with y'all tonight, as well as anyone who happens to click on any of these videos. First up, we are going to talk about Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper is coming to the defense of black actresses, particularly in the entertainment industry and Hollywood, who are speaking up in with respect to, I guess, a pay gap. Because I guess in the public discourse, publicly, we are starting to reckon with differences in pay when it comes to women and men in Hollywood and entertainment, but more specifically, black actresses and everyone else, because I guess black actresses are the lowest on the totem pole. Taraji P. Henson was recently on Gayle King's show, and she got emotional talking about how she feels as though throughout her career she has consistently had to deal with not being paid in a manner that is commensurate with what she brings to anything that she's involved in when it comes to these movies. And there was a thing going around the internet where it showed the disparity between what Taraji got and what Brad Pitt got for Benjamin Button. And I think Taraji P. Henson won awards for her performance in that movie, but she got like $150,000. Brad Pitt got like $10 million, and she was talking about how she was trying to get 500K. They didn't want to do it. They offered her 100K, and so she eventually settled on 150K. And so I guess on the internet, people are checking Taraji for some of these comments and saying, well, if black actresses want to make more money, they need to do better or negotiate better or have better contracts. I guess that's what's going on. And Chance the Rapper is not here for it. He is not a fan of that kind of commentary. And so he is speaking out against the critics in solidarity with people like Taraji P. Henson. So this is interesting stuff. So we'll go ahead and provide a little context before we give our thoughts on this particular story. So this article says Chance the Rapper slams critics of underpaid black women in entertainment. It's no secret that the entertainment industry has treated black women unfairly for ages, and Chance the Rapper is using his platform to call attention to the issue. In a new clip, the Chicago born performer notes how black women have been speaking up a lot about inequality lately and slams commenters who don't have room to criticize. He explains that while internet users may be quick to blame the victims in this situation, they themselves have likely never gone through what they have. Quote, they'll write some stuff and they've never had to negotiate a contract, never had to hire a lawyer, he explained. And if they did, it's like you not in the color purple, like you not doing nothing. His commentary follows Gayle King's recent interview with Taraji P. Henson, in which the actress tearfully reflected on being underpaid throughout her decades-long career. So here is what Chance the Rapper had to say. This was when he went live, I'm guessing, on his Instagram.
Yo, I try not to add my voice to I don't know, current pop culture events that doesn't have to do with me. Uh, but there's this current conversation going on right now. A lot of black women, black actresses are coming out and talking about how they was did dirty in the industry, how they weren't paid for their work, or you know. And this has been going on for years. But the worst part is seeing the comments and a lot of under a lot of these posts with people talking about how they should have negotiated better, they should have read their contract and stuff. And these be like the dirtiest, dustiest, brokest, like least goal having, definitely least goal accomplishing people in the world. And they'll write some stuff and they've never negotiated a contract. They've never had to hire a lawyer. And if they did, it's like you not in the color purple, like you not doing nothing. And I hate to add any like I hope this doesn't get picked up. But yeah,
You hope it don't get picked up.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, bro. It's gonna get picked up.
What's going on here?
I know, bro. You don't know how the internet works. So yeah, those are the gist of his thoughts, right? So he's obviously defending Taraji and others who speak in that same manner, and going at people who have an issue or who are criticizing people like her because you ain't never did nothing on the level that these people have. So what room do you have to say anything? We recently talked about something related to this when we discussed Terrence Howard and how he was only paid $20,000 to do Hustle and Flow, despite the fact that movie made like $30 million on a budget of like not even a fraction of that. So somewhat related, but what did you think about what Chance the Rapper said in his defense of Taraji?
I mean, I can't help but to agree with him. I mean, he didn't really say anything out of pocket there. I'm pretty sure he's well aware of how internet trolls are and how they behave and how they move in waves, sort of like locusts or any other biblical parasites that were going on out there. So internet trolls find themselves everywhere. So he's quite used to that. So the only thing he was doing was giving a description of the haters that he finds in his comment section, whether he's releasing a subpar album or if he's or if he's saying something of conscious and of note like this. So he's well aware of how it goes. Me personally, all right, dealing with Chance, the rapper here, he's a unique character to me. But in this context, I can't help but to agree with him here. As I mentioned, the internet is a very interesting place, and a lot of the comments that come out of these, the aggressive ones, the ones with no avatars or whatever's going on, some of those people live in some dark places. And it comes out whenever they have a something to say. So it's pretty evident. So you shouldn't really take too much heed to these people who weren't in the color purple. They weren't in this year's annual or last year's annual slavery. Uh, you know, woe is us. But let's dance our stuff away. I don't know what's going on in that. Am I going to watch that? Heavens no. All right. But they had to drop one annually. I mean, we're going to get another one some point this year. Look out for it. Who knows? But so yeah, it's just the latest rigmarole that's going on lately. But Chance the Rapper, I agree with him on this one. What are your thoughts on Chance the Rapper weighing in on internet haters talking about Taraji and her not getting paid?
What was last year's "Woe Is Us" movie? It was, I think it was the Will Smith movie. Was it? Was
I
the
think
Will
that, yeah,
Smith slavery movie? Was that last year? Yeah,
I think that
you're
was
right.
last
No, yeah, it's like clockwork. There's always gonna be the slavery slash black, you know,
plight.
condition. Yeah. And they always
Black in
come out at the
America.
beginning of the year. I guess they're trying to get them to win these awards or whatever. So they put them out like
Hey
in
man, you gotta
December, January, so that they can qualify for these trophies.
gotta line it up, man. You gotta line it up. Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it either. I can't stand this stuff. At least
Mhm.
with the color purple, that's like a remake. That's another thing that's going around in Hollywood these days is
Mm,
lack of original ideas. Is they're just going to go back and rehash stuff and
mhm,
remake it and not do it as good as the original. Um, but yeah, I hear what Chance is saying. Like you, I don't think that there was anything controversial about what he said. Um, the people who are coming at people like Taraji saying do better and you'll be better,
mhm,
that's lazy logic. I find that particularly annoying. These are the same people who say, racism doesn't exist and all you have to do is work hard and everybody has the same opportunity. It's
mhm,
like, okay, I'm not sitting here blaming racism for everything, but let's not say stuff that's factually incorrect too. Let's not go that far and make it seem like it doesn't exist. This strikes me as that same kind of lazy logic where people are just going to disregard the fact that there is an inherent pay inequity when it comes to Hollywood and entertainment. So I understand why he would feel the need to respond because maybe he's close to the situation. He's worked with a lot of these women before. So I understand that. However, and I got on this when I talked about Terrence Howard.
mhm,
Um, to a certain extent, unless you own the movie studio or unless you are a CEO or something of that effect, um, you are in some way, shape, or form a modern day slave. And you're never going to be able to receive commensurate compensation for your production or your contribution so long as you are below the higher ups on the totem pole. So the question therein becomes, what's the solution? We can complain about this type of stuff all day long, but if we really cared that much, I mean, I guess Tyler Perry, he has his own studio, from what I believe, but I don't know if Tyler Perry's studio is so big that he can handle his own distribution. Somebody fact check me on that, but I believe Tyler Perry's movies are produced by him, but I think he still needs to go to studios to distribute his stuff. I
mm,
believe. I could be
mm.
wrong,
Let
but
me look
fact
it
check
up.
me on that. Yeah,
Mhm,
fact check me on that. But be that as it may, call up Tyler Perry. So the Black Collective, whomever that may be, okay, call up Tyler Perry, call up LeBron, Michael Jordan, Oprah, get Robert Smith on in there, get all of these wealthy black people to self fund their own studio that has the ability, the capability to produce and distribute their own films, handle their own budgets. And maybe at that point, actors and actresses who participate in some of these movies can be paid in a manner that is commensurate with the contribution that they make to these projects. But so long as you're still depending on the Hollywood machine of Disney and Fox and Universal and the rest of these mega studios that are founded on shaky, suspect grounds and are led by people who don't actually hail from any of the communities that claim to be getting subjugated financially, we're still going to see a lot of this stuff getting played out. So Terrence Howard can continue to talk about how he only makes $20,000 off of a movie that made, I don't know how many times that. You do the math. The movie made $30 million, and Taraji P. Henson only made a fraction of Brad Pitt's salary for Benjamin Button. But who runs the studios? Who is responsible for greenlighting these projects? And who are a lot of y'all running to be a part of these movies? Um, Inequality, or rather the eradication of it, is only going to go so far when systemically, structurally, the power apparatus that you are depending upon for said opportunities are constructed in the way that Hollywood is constructed. So create your own studio. We talk about this all the time when it comes to sports. People in the NFL want to complain about stuff. Okay, start your own sports league. Yeah, perhaps it's easier said than done, but that's really ultimately the only solution. This is America, people. This stuff has been started and it's been perfected, and it is what it is. It is not going to change, in my opinion, not in our lifetimes at least. I don't see it changing. It was built the way it was built, and it's working as designed for a reason. So unless you're going to build your own thing, Deal with it. And I'm not criticizing Taraji for her feelings. She's entitled to feel the way she feels. We all deserve to be compensated commensurately. So I hear what she's saying, but there's a power structure in place here. And that power structure is what you're relying upon for your opportunities. And that power structure, by and large, even though we've gotten better and, currently compared to the way things were 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago, at the end of the day, who's the CEO of these studios? What does that person look like? What does the CFO of these studios look like? The stakeholders who make money off of the stock options for these studios and these movies, what do they look like? You know what I'm saying? It's a systemic thing. And so that's why we're dealing with these gaps in pay. If you want to see that stop, ultimately the only solution, start your own movie studios. Get all the rich black people together, start your own studio. People will support, and then you'll be able to, pay Taraji 2, 3. I don't know what she makes now. I'm sure she makes more than 150,000 for a movie now, but it's probably still not commensurate with what she brings in terms of the fanfare for whatever movie she's in. These hot girl summers and these single ladies and all of the black women, they love Taraji in these movies. so like, so like, she deserves to be paid more than whatever it is that she's being paid, whatever that number is. She's never going to get it. None of them are going to get it. None of y'all are going to get it. So start your own movie studio. That's why I big up The Rock when he went in and he got his wife together and they started the XFL. He's trying something. Maybe the XFL ain't the NFL, but he owns that thing, and maybe he can do it his way and make it better. But the power apparatus that is the NFL, you're looking for complete and utter equality. It'll never happen. We'll never see that. It doesn't exist. Same thing with the NBA. Same thing with the rest of these power apparatuses that have been in existence for hundreds of years. So, I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse because I repeat myself when we do these various topics, but it is what it is. Start your own stuff. Create your own movie studios. Create your own sports leagues. Otherwise, just relent and understand where you fall in the pecking order.
I mean, I agree. And from what it looks like, Tyler Perry has some deal with Sony when it comes with some stuff. So I don't know if that's
So
distribution
it
for
must,
stuff.
yeah, that must be distribution. The point is, he needs the power apparatus to help him with his own distribution. And
Mhm.
this is Tyler Perry, the one black actor, the one black person in Hollywood, weird, who actually owns his own thing.
Mhm.
I think it's in Atlanta. He has a whole thing, like it's a whole movie studio, the
Yeah.
whole setup, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's as big as it gets in terms of black people in Hollywood. And he still needs to partner with some power structure that ultimately he has no control over, just to distribute his stuff. So this is how deep this stuff goes. And unless you are self-actualized and you are fully sustained in all of these endeavors, ultimate equality is a pie in the sky notion. It sounds depressing for me to say that, but the reality is it'll never exist. It never will. So your only hope really is to just own your own stuff.
Yeah, and that machine that you're speaking of, as far as the movie industry is concerned, or music industry, just these industries. I mean, it's a racket. And if anybody's ever did like Uber or Lyft, now I never did any of the food stuff for ride sharing, but if y'all did that, I'm pretty sure y'all are like very aware how much of a racket it is. Like how much you got to put in just to get a little bit. I mean, it's literally like another form of slavery. It's ridiculous. You don't get paid anything. But it does it does help supplement all this whoop whoop. But once you're in the grind like that, if you're trying to do that to make money, you see how much of a racket it is. And same thing that I'm hearing with these industry people, for Taraji to be coming out like we said, Terrence Howard, for them to be coming out like, hey, bro, I wasn't getting paid for none of this stuff. And it's just a lot of things just coming to light lately. And these are just one of the things where it's just like, hey, even your favorite movie stars, even though they're living all this glitz and glam, because she was doing this one thing where she was breaking down like how much she got to give to her agents, her lawyers, her this, her that, and then she's walking away with like 15 or 20% of whatever she made. And that's a joke, but that's part of the racket, you know. And even when I was a cab driver, it was like, all right, well, you know, you got to rent the cab, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. And it's like, man, when am I going to start making my money?
Yeah.
So, you know, at some point you realize that this whole thing is, like you mentioned, set up for them to win and for you to fail. And not everybody's going to be getting Brad Pitt money, you know. And by the way, they're doing away with those kinds of superstars anyway. So
Hmm.
they don't want to pay Brad Pitt money no more. They don't want to pay
Yeah.
Tom Cruise money. They don't want to do
Yep.
that.
Yep.
So everybody's going to get marginalized now, especially with Netflix actors and all this other stuff that's going on. Like, you know, the industry's going to get saturated with air quote talent, and they're just going to find a way to rigmarole why they don't have to pay these people anymore. You know, just going to keep doing it. They do this everywhere. And so, and apparently this is how you make a profit in North America. And somebody's going to lose. And the air quote talent in these cases, they take the L. So, yeah, man, this is just part of the game. You know, these people signed up for it, and it sucks. But what can you say? You know, who's really winning out here? Doesn't seem like very many. And even the people that everybody thought was winning and trying to compare their lives to, even these people are taking their relative L's. And again, I had said this a few ones ago. I forgot what the topic was, but you start to see why some of these people sell out, because they're making the money. They're making the money, but they're not. They're getting notoriety. They're getting notoriety, but they're not. And then there's some people that just say, you know what, I'll do whatever it takes. You know.
Yeah.
And then those are the people that cross over, and because there is genuinely a glass ceiling apparently. So hey, I feel sorry for these women. I feel sorry for anybody in this position, honestly. But Chance the Rapper, again, I have to agree that anybody that wants to get in there and throw stones, it's like, hey man, well, if you were in that position, you'd probably be saying the same thing. So yeah, I agree, I concur on this one.
Yeah, I'm with him. I hear it. It's just the ultimate solution is, you know, you're not going to change the power structure. You know, in no area of modern society can we look at and say, you know, if we work hard enough at this thing, we can tear it down and build it again. Hollywood is going to function as it always has. The music industry is going to function as it always has. Professional sports are going to function as they always have. These various systems of control that afford people with payment in a manner that is in no way commensurate with what they put into it from a talent standpoint are going to continue to function as they always have been. So you have to remove yourself from these environments by becoming self-sustainable and owning your own thing. Is it easier said than done? Absolutely. But the ultimate solution is that, you know, there's no way around it. So like I said, I don't fault people like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, for doing what he did with XFL, because
Mhm.
you know you got to create something. You can't go to the NFL and say, "Hey, NFL, change." It's not going to happen. You know, and the
Yeah, can't beat
XFL
nobody.
since then they merged with the USFL to create the UFL. So I don't know how that affects Dwayne Johnson's, you know, ultimate hand in that whole thing. But even when you get far enough to where you got instances like this, something happens, mergers, deals, acquisitions. You know what I'm saying? That's what
Mhm.
capitalism is working as intended, people. It just is. And so you just have to have something that belongs to you. That's really the only way that you can sidestep that. Maybe Taraji needs to create her own podcast and make sure that she owns all the patents to it, trademarks the hell out of everything, so that every single piece of residual that comes through that thing is money that goes directly to her. There has to be something that she is in control of, that she owns. But this Hollywood stuff is going to continue to do what it does. It just is.
Yeah, well said, man. Best of luck to her, and all the other sisters out there. Hey, trying to get paid out there. Hey, man, I think I don't know what it is up there. I've heard too many Hollywood stories of people living in other people's houses, sleeping in cars. So I don't know how much money these people are making to be doing this stuff, but if it is a thing where it's like y'all still living check to check kind of, hey man, you just with the rest of us. So
Yeah.
everybody's in this boat unless you're scamming. So tighten up.
Yeah.
At least you can cry in a Bentley. So
Right. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is, man.
Man.
Hopefully they figure something out. But it is working as intended. Believe that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Next up, we are going to touch on Adam22.
Oh.
Adam22 has now officially declared, after all of these years and after all of this time and after all of the written books and social media posts and viral videos and interviews on Club Shay Shay, now Adam22 is on record saying that Brittany Renner is no longer marriage material. These comments on behalf of Adam22 came in light of Charleston White, who was on the Danza Project, which is a podcast that Brittany Renner is featured on. And during that episode, Brittany Renner gave Charleston White a lap dance. And, it kind of went off the rails, and Brittany was being her erratic self, throwing water on people and just, I don't know. I still can't explain the behavior. But, she was straddling him, giving him a lap dance, and that has come back up. It's crept back up into the recesses of the internet because Charleston White was speaking on what was going on and what his thoughts were and what was happening during this exchange. And so that commentary has caused this lap dance situation to go viral. Now, I do have a link in the description of this video of Charleston White talking about that situation. However, I'm not going to play it during the stream because YouTube will flag the video as 18 only for potentially inappropriate content. I'm learning how YouTube's machine works. I'm learning slowly but surely how YouTube's algorithm functions. And so I feel as though that video will get us, we won't get the video blocked or anything like that, but it'll restrict the video to viewers 18 and up only. And I'm not trying to have that. So if you want to see that particular clip of Charleston White talking about what was going on during that podcast, click on the link in the description of this video. It'll take you to a video on WorldStar where you can check that out yourself. But we will give some context for what Adam22 said in the meantime. Yeah. We always gonna have something for you here on Conscious Approach, ladies and gentlemen. So this article says Adam22 says Brittany Renner isn't marriage material following resurfaced lap dance video. Adam22 responded to new footage of Brittany Renner's 2023 lap dance for Charleston White by saying that the Danza Project host is no longer marriage material. The news was reported by No Jumper, who had also originally disseminated the new footage of the lap dance. That's the video that I'm referring to. However, the No Jumper founder was immediately called out by his audience. To many people, it was hypocritical for Adam to make such a judgment when his wife is a porn star. Quote, and the wife you have is, we can go pull up your wife. Now going to Pound Town, one person said.
Whoa.
Now, Adam, I know you ain't talking about marriage material. You still got time to delete this, bro. Another added. He's mad because she ain't kiss him. Meanwhile, the one he married is having guys lined up to, F word, LOL. Theorize another. Bruh wouldn't know wife material if it slapped him in the face. He is right, though, someone else said, partially agreeing with Adam. And so here is Instagram screenshot from No Jumper. There is Adam22's post there. I'm sorry, but you are no longer marriage material at Bundle of Brittany, which is Brittany Renner's Instagram. All this comes after Charleston White opened up about the video of Brittany Renner giving him a lap dance that surfaced in late 2023. She finna about to burst a vein. I was hard like a mother effer. I was about to Nut if she didn't stop, White told the show. White's comments were reposted by outlets such as No Jumper alongside new footage of the lap dance itself. So, according to Adam22, whose wife makes adult films and they make adult films together, and his wife gets smashed now by other men, not him, in adult films, is commenting that Brittany Renner is no longer marriage material because of, her giving a lap dance on a podcast to Charleston White. What are your thoughts on Adam22's thoughts that Brittany Renner, friend of the channel, is no longer marriage material? You muted.
Now, my bad. Now, my thoughts are contingent upon this initial interview. Now, what was the platform of this initial interview where she straddles this man?
It was
Does it happen?
it was typical shit
Just
talking stuff. And Charleston White was doing his shit talking routine, and Brittany Renner just was like calling him out on his BS. And I guess part of her shtick for calling him out on his BS was, to give him a lap dance.
yeah, but what was the platform like? Who was who was hosting them?
She's one of the hosts.
Oh,
and then
that was her show.
It's so like she's a part of it.
Okay,
So
got it.
I can go ahead and fact check that for you.
Okay.
But yeah, she's a part of that podcast. Podcast.
Now I'm on the same page now. Okay, so here's my thing with Adam22. Now his whole shtick at this point is to be a headline. He lost his life a long time ago. He doesn't have one. And he's well aware of that at this point. He understands that he's an avatar of a human. He is now Adam22. And he plays directly into that lane. He knows that this would spark headlines for him. Everybody, the irony here is just ridiculous. It's so strong. How could he not smell it? Well, he knows it's there. He knows it's there so much that him saying this would, again, make him ring out in headlines. So, to me, this was an algorithm play for him. I mean, that happened months ago. You're going to resurface this and then say that of all things when everybody done seen the holiest of holes of your own wife? So this guy, of course, knows what he's doing. This is part of his algorithm play. You got to start off 2024 with a bang. So he's just playing some type of cycle in order for him to be in the mix. Because once you get up there where he's at, clickbait nation. Because another thing that he likes to do on his platform is fake beefs, fake fights, anything that'll drive up view counts. So this man is a view count man. He know that him tricking his wife off is going to be a perpetual form of income. Who cares about humiliation? He knew he lost his life a long time ago. So this guy's just playing life and playing people in order for him to get more income. At least that's how I see this whole situation. But what are your thoughts on Cuck 22 having the nerve, the gall to say that Brittany Renner, of all people, is not wife material, knowing his wife bends it over backwards for strange men online?
Quite literally. So the description of the Danza Project on YouTube is residing in Miami, Florida. Shocker. Miami is quickly becoming the degenerate capital of America.
We're getting there.
Yeah, we may already be there. If it's degenerate, it's here. But it says residing in Miami, Florida, the Danza Project is a live, raw, and uncut podcast offering viewers an opportunity to chat live with the biggest names and top celebrities, featuring hosts Danza and Chris. You never know what can happen on the set. So I don't think she is. I think she was a guest on that show. I don't think she's like a co-host or anything. So for reference, there you go. I hear everything you're saying, and I hear you. It's ironic that he is making these comments in light of Charleston White, because if you think about it, Adam22 is kind of like a white Charleston White, except Adam22 doesn't go into political issues as much as Charleston White does. But other than that, he's an internet troll, very much in the same vein, going to say
Agreed.
things controversially on purpose because he understands that his shtick is not being very well liked. And so he's going to just say vile things just to get the reaction and to get people over to his channel. And he knows he exists in the internet ether as a vile individual because of what he does outside of his podcast. So he's embraced that. It's almost like he has. I wouldn't even call it an alter ego, because I feel like at this point, when he's not doing that show, he still acts like that and does these
Yeah,
things.
that's him.
So that is him. So I hear what you're saying. I concur, but I disagree with his comments on its face. She's still marriage material. She is marriage material. And hear me
hey.
out.
Oh,
Hear
nah.
me out. You'll see
Clip
where
it.
I'm going with.
Clip
Hear me out first. You'll see. You'll pick up where I'm going. Okay. So
yeah.
2024 new humans, right? We talk
Okay.
about the facelift that society is currently undergoing to socially reconstruct everything. I've
Mhm.
talked about how we're trying to turn sex work into a normal thing. It's like punching in a time clock, except you're not going to work at an office building. You're going to have sex on a camera with a guy who is not your man, right? This is the world that we're living in now. Social anarchy is what I like to call it. So, you got, the people on the internet who set the tone for the rest of the society who is unable to think for themselves. Pro
Mhm.
athletes, entertainers. Paul George gets with a stripper, gets her pregnant. Now they're a family. Zion, Zion, Zion Williamson, gets with a porn star. She's airing out his dirty laundry, making him look bad, and then he gets a stripper pregnant, does a gender reveal party. Now he's going to raise a family with a stripper, Zion.
Mhm.
Um, we don't need to get into people like Devin Booker, people like James Harden. You know what I'm saying? The stories are endless. My point in saying this is we're normalizing this stuff. So if we're normalizing the advent of getting into serious relationships with strippers, sex workers, porn stars, chicks who do OnlyFans, we're normalizing getting into serious relationships with, Instagram models, fitness models, influencers, so on and so forth. We're normalizing the advent of these things, right? It's no longer a scarlet letter to look upon these individuals as something that you just have fun with, but otherwise don't take seriously because of the life that they have chosen to cultivate for themselves. No, we are giving the world a facelift, especially over here in the West. We're deciding it is just as normal, just as reasonable, just as typical, just as ho hum to have children with, marry, seriously date, sex workers, OnlyFans, chicks who do porn, all of this. That's what we're doing. So if we're saying that we're normalizing these things, then why is Brittany Renner now no longer marriage material? I beg to differ. If the rest of these thought rappers are marriage material, if these strippers are marriage material, if OnlyFans chicks are marriage material, if Instagram models are marriage material, then so is Brittany Renner. And it doesn't matter how many books she's written. It doesn't matter how many dudes she's called out in the entertainment industry. It doesn't matter what her body count is, allegedly. It doesn't matter how much she discloses any of this stuff. At the end of the day, as I have said on this channel before, she knows that she can do these things publicly and still get what she wants, which is a high value man, high value in terms of money, not high value in terms of character. So she is incentivized in no way, shape, or form to behave any differently. She's still going to get these things, as is the rest of these thoughts running around out here acting a donkey, both in person and on the internet. They don't give a damn. They're going to do, say, act however they feel because there is a sucker born every minute. There is a guy on the internet waiting to date these women. What's the name of that podcast that they do out in LA? damn, I can't think of the name of it. Uh, it's a white guy who hosts it too. I'm gonna look this up when I let you go. But
Mm.
he brings porn stars, all kind of chicks on his show, and he just lets them go in on their philosophy on life. They don't feel like there's anything wrong or abnormal or crazy or weird or suspect about what they do. They don't. They don't, because we are living in the world of free sex, no consequences. We're living in the world where sex working is just a job. It's a profession, something that we ought something that we ought to appreciate for its entrepreneurial spirit and its industrialism. That's what they're selling us in the world. So, of course, Brittany Renner's marriage material. She is, because the rest of these chicks are marriage material too. So I hear what you're saying and I agree. But cynically, I am going to disagree with Cup 22. She is marriage material, unfortunately.
Wow, man, that's all right. Well, I see your point there. So, but my thing is, listen, I get that. So she's marriage material. There's two worlds, you know. So it's what world are you living in? You know. So yeah, if you're living in, Delusionville, which the population is growing by the day.
Yes, it
So
is.
if you live in Delusionville, then yeah, absolutely. Upside downtown. Everything's just upside down. Everything's different. You know. So maybe over there, Brittany Renner, can find herself because you gotta, yeah, bro. Like you just said it. We've got enough examples of NBA players, you know, entertainers that'll just do that. Um, and there's so many of the users, that grew up just users of these websites and other things, and you know the newer generation of people got used to paying like off the rip. It'd be like a badge of honor for some of these dudes because they're already low-key sharing her, with all of these people already. I'm pretty sure some will get weird and jealous on the back end because it's not like they're stable people, but they still
Right.
know what they're getting into. It's some weird stuff, dog. And it's like it's really like a gap, man, of you had to be here before all of this stuff to not be a part of this stuff. Yeah, that's not like an absolute, because I know there's people that grew up in this stuff that's not a part of it. But
Mhm.
man, dude, like there's people in our cohort or older that are just getting into the foolishness with this stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
So upside downtown, hey man, those people can have that. But in the real world, in reality, by no means. I don't believe she's marriage material. And I think that's the part where, because I think most people are sticking with the traditional sense of marriage material and wifey material, and you bring her to the table so everybody can see your wife, and it's like, oh whoa, I see what you're doing, bro, but whoa, the eye candy, it fits, but everybody knows underneath that wrapper, she only confessed to having one or no, what would she say? Was she talking about having sex with three guys and one, oh, by the way,
24 hours. Yeah. In a
yeah, three
24
guys in
hour span,
24 hours. Come
and
on, man.
only walked away with the yeast infection.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what it was, yeast infection.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Boosie was like, hey man, I had to start multiplying. Yeah, man, because three dudes in one night. Yeah, right, girl. So she's got enough going on where it's just like, all right, clearly, in the real world, wouldn't even consider her. So I get your point, man. But yeah, that's enough people that live in that village that will do it. So I can't even fault you for that. So
Yeah, clearly I'm being very cynical with my take,
yeah, but
obviously,
hey, nah,
because I don't actually think that she's marriage material.
of course.
But I'm looking at the world as it's changing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the world as it's changing is just, we're in the midst of a transition in which we are seeing people like that become or still be marriage material despite the baggage. But of course, in still the real, I would still contend that the majority of the population is in reasonable world. But man, the contingent of unreasonable world it is growing. It's
No,
getting
it's
bigger
growing
and
though.
bigger and bigger. And as the internet continues to dictate how people look at and view and think about things, that facelift, the completion of it rather, is imminent. I think that's what I think. However long it takes for that facelift to be complete, we're in the phases of it, and in due time, it's going to complete itself, where we're going to have that facelift, and we will be living in a state of social anarchy. It's imminent. I truly believe that. But for now, yeah, it's tame. But yeah, I believe that she is largely considered by, as you call them, the basement dwellers, and the rest of the population, the rest of these suckers and people out here who can't think for themselves, who don't have a mind of their own. They're like, whatever, 35 bodies, I want more. Book where you talk about, book about how you smash all the rappers and NBA players and NFL players, give me more. You're throwing
What?
water on people in public, give me more. You're giving, troll social media personalities lap dances on a podcast, give me more. I just think the world is in a state of give me more. So,
We
give me
are
more, give
we
me
are
more, give me
really
more. And she is marriage material to those same people.
yeah, we really are in a gluttonous time in society. Because I would always look at the '90s, old footage of the '90s commercials or whatever, and I was like, man, all of this stuff, these
Yeah.
infomercials and goofy things. But then I was like, man, that was such a time, in America where just people just wasting money. And then I got to thinking about it, I was like, all this arbitrage online, all this other whoop whoop stuff going on. People are just consuming, dude.
Yeah.
And I had to look at myself, and I was like, hey, man, I'm going a little too hard on X, Y, or Z. And it's just like, you got to, have some level of control and do some things in moderation. And but the only thing I'm witnessing right now in society is just overindulgence. And it's just like, hey, man, you know, if you want to look at those websites, if you want to do that, bro, treat it like a salad, bro, or appetizer. That can't be your full course, 3-course meal of that.
Yeah.
You lose your mind. But some people
Yeah.
just they don't have a filter of when off or on to turn it. And then, it's just been a whole generation of people growing up of not having filters. And
Yeah.
then you get this madness. And that's when it starts to become like, oh, who cares? Everybody watches it. Or who cares? Everybody, whoop, whoop. Because
Mhm.
now it's just a joke that everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people watch that stuff. And so that's become so, because in the past that was taboo. So there's a lot of things getting unearthed. So I agree with you, man. It's going to come at some point in time, because all of these people are eventually going to grow up and eventually not care, because
Yeah.
eventually it's like, whatever, we all seen it. So who care? Okay, yeah, girl, that is your job. Woo, woo, woo. I'll just get a girl
Yeah.
that don't do that. And then that's just where we're going to be, where it's at. So yeah, I see it, man. It's on the wall. It's headed for us soon. And honestly, I wasn't even paying attention to this until you started bringing it up. And now that I see it, man, it's like, yeah, I didn't even notice that, but yeah, it has been going on. So, hey,
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
upside down world, baby. We here, baby.
Yes.
2024.
Yes. Yep. Social anarchy, man. That's what I call it. That's what it is. That's what it is. Societal facelifts. Yeah.
uh,
Go ahead and get your husband, Brittany. It's on the way. It is
hey,
on the way.
man, I got hope. I got faith. Sheesh.
Oh. All
Lord.
right. Friend of the channel, D1. We are
Quick.
back
Man.
with an
Whoa.
update on D1, man.
Wow.
Friend of the channel. So anyone who has been on social media lately, they've probably seen this video that has exploded that shows these little girls dancing and singing along to the Rich Baby Daddy song, which is the song with Drake, Drake and Sexy Red
Whoa.
on Drake's the latest, piece of trash music that Drake put out.
Garbage. Sorry,
The
man.
latest album that Drake put out for all the dogs. There's a song on the album, Rich Baby Daddy with Sexy Red. And there's this video that's going viral with these little girls singing along to the song and dancing to it. Dee-1, who is unafraid to speak out against various aspects of the culture that he feels are problematic, has spoken out against this. He takes issue with it. And this is definitely good content for the channel. So we'll go ahead and take a look at what Dee-1 had to say about this. So this article says Dee-1 calls out viral dance video of kids dancing to Sexy Red's verse on Rich Baby Daddy. Dee-1, known for his song Taking a Chance on Me, has voiced his concern over a viral video featuring a group of young girls dancing to Drake and Sexy Red's song Rich Baby Daddy. In a video shared on X/Twitter on Tuesday, which was January 2nd, the rapper reposted the controversial performance before addressing the public with his thoughts. Dee-1 wastes no time in expressing his disapproval, stating, "This ain't cool, man, and this ain't cute." The video has garnered a mix of praise and criticism. It has sparked a larger conversation about the influence of music and the responsibility of both artists and fans. However, he's addressing the problem of young children listening to and dancing to vulgar and sexually explicit music. So we'll just go ahead and scroll down here. And you know what? I think I'm actually going to open up a new window, and I'm going to stop sharing this and then share a full screen version of Dee-1's response. So let me stop sharing this. All right, and then I'll go ahead and present, and I'm gonna present this right here, and then we'll go full screen. I want to go full screen here. All right, so this is going to start with the video in question, and then Dee-1 is going to delve into his issues with it.
Oh man, it's crazy, bro.
This ain't cool, man. And this ain't cute. But the real question is, what are we going to do about it? It takes artists to make the music. It takes fans to support the music. And it takes adults to figure out what they're going to expose their kids to, right? So first off, as fans, you got to make sure you're not supporting this and you're not promoting this type of music. Matter of fact, you need to be vocal about the fact that you're opposed to this if you really have a problem with it. As artists, we just got to decide when we want to stop being manipulated, man, and letting them use us as pawns. Where they pay us, they give us some fame, but they allow us to aid in the destruction and the brainwashing of our own people. And as adults, you got to be responsible, man. What are you exposing your kids to? What are you allowing them to learn over and over by hearing it repeatedly? Come on, man. This is the year to shift, yo. If we just talk about it and don't take no action, nothing changes. If we don't talk about it, nothing changes for sure. It's the year to shift, yo. The time is right now. All I hear y'all talking about is your money in large amounts. Must think accountability is your ability to count. It's not. That's why this culture lukewarm, intoxicated with ignorance.
All right, so there you go.
Wow.
So were you not aware? Had you not seen this before I sent it to you?
I mean, I saw it, but I didn't see the whole thing. So I was like, "Oh, Dee-1, all right, yeah, Sexy Red, yeah, that makes sense." But it's crazy.
Yeah. So what do you think, man? Dee-1 strikes again, man. That's how I see it.
I mean, I got to be honest, man. When we talked about Drake and all of his dogs, that album, when we made that video, and please guys, do yourselves a favor and go watch our review. That wasn't really a review of it because I don't even remember what it was about, but we were talking about it. And even then, I was like, what is this? I didn't know the song by name. I still didn't until you said it. But I did hear the clip where the hands on your knees, shake your derriere for Drake, and then shake your derriere for her. And I was like, now, all of these guys out here that's caping for Drake and oh yeah, this bang and all this stuff. I'm saying, are y'all gonna put your hands on your knees? You clapping your ass for Drake? Oh my bad. That's what I said. Oh, you clapping your ass for Sexy Red. This music wasn't made for adult men, and that's what we were talking about. That's what it was. It's like age appropriate stuff. And I made a joke about, you know, like what is that kind of song? What is that song even talking about or promoting? Well, now we see. All right. These kids don't know what's going on, but they're saying some vile things. And to me, personally, that was its intent from inception. Me personally. And so that was just like how you were just saying, like things are working as intended. That's working as intended. And it's shocking people that are older that's seeing this, but I can also remember, and I think I joked about this before, but I'll share the story again. Now, we grew up in Miami, bro. So, and in the early 90s, Luke was going hammer, you know, worldwide, but especially on, you know, 99 Jams, Power 96. And I'm at the crib just vibing out. So I'm hearing Pop That Coochie all the time. So I'm in the side yard playing. I don't know how old I am. I'm in the side yard, but I'm young. I'm in the side yard playing. You know, my mom in the kitchen, she cooking, so the window right there, you know, so she doing her thing. But, you know, I was just feeling it. And I was like, hey, Pop That Coochie, hey. And then my mom was like, she said, what? She said, what? Don't you ever say that? I was like, what's going on? What can I say? And I was like, what Coochie? And she damn near ran out of the house to come whoop my ass. Now, I was a little kid. I didn't know what Coochie meant. And I damn sure didn't want anybody to be around there popping it. Like, I didn't know what that was. But it definitely had an effect on how I grew up somehow. Because if I didn't grow up with that song, my life may have been different. Now, what that shift was, I don't know, but it's in there. And the point is that all of these songs, even though the old heads would like to say, oh yeah, man, you know, back in our day, the songs, they weren't all this. Okay, it wasn't explicit, but the message is still getting through. Now, as I'm sitting in the back seat, you know, as a kid, and, you know, Hot 105 is on, that's supposed to be the clean channel. And Hot 105 is on, and hey, girl, what's your mister? Making love in between. I'm just like, making love in between sheets. Everybody was getting that programming. And so my whole thing is just that through generations, the programming changed. The people get more extreme. The people more on edge. They get used to envelopes getting pushed. So the stuff has to be more aggressive for the next generation. That's the whole point. So even our music, as explicit as it was in the 90s and 2000s, it's not even close to the garbage that's going on now. So we're just witnessing the evolution of programming. And quintessential, prime example, Exhibit A, is what Dee-1 was responding to. You know, it's only going to get worse from here. So like he said, at what point, because the artists are going to do what they're going to do. The people who are giving it, putting it on the radio, putting it on everybody's stream, they're going to do what they're going to do. So it is to the parents, the guardians, or whoever, the uncles, the aunts, to step in and try to do something to make sure that their offspring or their people aren't being part of that machine. So, hey, I got more to say, but your thoughts on Dee-1 weighing in on the Sexy Red / Drake collabs.
I of course agree with him, and I'll add to your sentiments about the sort of the veracity of the content becoming more aggressive as time passes with the new generations. Mm-hmm. On top of that, it's different now because now one's accessibility to the content is way more ubiquitous. This stuff is everywhere. Yeah. So you and I had to listen to the radio or watch music videos to get to encounter these things for the most part. But every kid has a phone now. Every kid has access to the internet now. So there are just so many different ways for you to come into contact with the various forms of programming that are in existence, that to me, it's an apples to oranges comparison. Because I hear that, like I've heard that before. Like, you know, my dad used to talk like this about the music we listened to in the 90s and 2000s. It's the same, you know, he used to say the same stuff. Y'all listening to this, you know, bullshit. All they talk about is this or that and blah, 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 blah. So the phenomenon of, you know, sort of aging out of the music and positioning yourself in such a way that you can reflect on what's going on to kind of have a new perspective on it, that's nothing new. That's nothing new. What is new, in my opinion, is the internet. That's what's new. The internet is what's made it different. It's made the consumption of the content so much more easily accessible and so much more pervasive. That's the difference. And you can't tell your child who's 10 years old in a classroom with a bunch of other 10 years old and all you know, your child's classmates and friends, they all got smartphones. What you gonna do? Deny your kid a phone? You got to get the kid a phone. The phone's gonna be connected to a cellular network. The kid's gonna be able to connect the phone to Wi-Fi, and they're gonna be able to look at all of this stuff. Everything on YouTube, everything on Instagram, everything on TikTok. So it's the accessibility of it today compared to previous eras that makes it more of a touchy subject, in my opinion, and in my opinion, spotlights the manner in which it has become an even more profound aspect of mind control, comparatively speaking, to previous generations. And why we speak about it so much on this channel, because it's everywhere. It's all over the place. All over the place. You cannot stop it. All we had was the radio and BET Uncut. That's all we had. Now it's now as long as you got a phone, you can look at it on Twitter, you can look at it on TikTok, you can look at it on Instagram. It's all over the place.
Twitter, wow,
YouTube, viral videos. Everybody's a follower and not a leader, so everyone's gonna want to do these goofy ass internet challenges. So it's so ubiquitous. And the consumption of it is so readily available and so easily accessible. That's the ingredient that makes it today so much more of a profound impact in terms of what it's doing to the masses, juxtaposed to previous generations. But my key takeaway with this whole thing is, if this doesn't exemplify how this stuff is mind control, I don't know what will. I truly don't know what will. But you will have people who will say we crazy. You'll have people who will call us out, say we missing it. They'll disagree with us. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a lot of people who are in favor of this kind of stuff, who champion it, who think it's funny, who don't think it's a big deal that your 5, 6, 7-year-old girl is singing along and dancing along to Rich Baby Daddy. And you know, the main thing that I'm going to take away from that, you know, honestly, the main thing that I take away from that is, I think it's ironic that the same people who don't have a problem with this will be the same people who say that the vaccine is a conspiracy. These will be the same people who will say that, 9/11 was an inside job. They'll be the first ones to holler tinfoil hat and conspiracy. And my whole thing is, y'all want to think that that stuff is a conspiracy, then you also need to understand that you are actively contributing to what I believe is the greatest conspiracy ever created, which is the internet and social media. Like, most of you willfully feed technology companies data on their algorithms that they can then sell to corporations that inform the corporations on how to give you content that controls your personal behavior and your purchasing behavior. That to me is a conspiracy too. So it's like, y'all all day long want to talk about how the government's doing this, how the secret societies are doing that, how the vaccine is this, how this politician is that, and how the war over here is this and that. Y'all got all of these brilliant ideas about these conspiracies that are at work looking to do what they do, but you actively contribute to the greatest conspiracy that I've ever seen in my lifetime, which is social media. And you allow your children to be a part of that ecosystem where they're getting mind controlled. Like, this is algorithmic data that is being fed to technology corporations, who then contract this same information to corporations so that they can control the way you spend your money and control the way that you personally behave, which is mind control. So, I just want people to be aware of that, because these will be the same people who will want to comment on a post about all the other conspiracies that they just know for a fact are going on, but the world doesn't want to let us in on. Okay, well, there's a huge conspiratorial thing right there in your face that you are actively capitulating to through the consumption of this mind control. Now I wouldn't feel this strongly about this if it was understood that this was just all fun and games and entertainment. But clearly, you have a whole swath of people out here who look at this as lifestyle, culture. If you look up the word culture in the dictionary definition of culture is a way of life. So for a lot of people that are out here in the streets, this music, these songs, these artists are part of their culture, quote unquote. Hence, this is your way of life. And you believe that and you willfully accept it. But you don't think there's anything wrong with that. But you think all of these other conspiracies are a problem. You can say, well, you can refuse the vaccine all you want. At the end of the day, you've already given up agency over yourself because you're being actively controlled by these technology companies and these corporations. And it targets communities who disproportionately have the least, they're least able to be able to think for themselves and understand that this is not just a game. So again, I am in favor of what Dee-1 had to say, but I think it points out the hypocritical nature of people. Again, I am not trying to downplay anyone who believes any of these things. You want to think the vaccine is a conspiracy? Fine. We can have that conversation. You want to think all of these other things are conspiracies, and you want to think that all of these other forces are at work working against you actively? Fine, we can have those conversations. I don't want to take that away from you. I think that there's some suspect stuff going on out here in the world myself. So I'm not trying to suggest that one's propensity for thinking along those lines is crazy. I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, if you want to get mad at this stuff, you should, as a responsible person trying to contribute to the world, also get mad at stuff like this, because both to me are doing the same thing.
Yeah, I never thought about that, but yeah, I mean, I agree. If somebody out there does believe in all of that stuff and they don't think the industry's going, I mean, now what kind of conspiracy theorists are they anyway? So they need to go ahead and take a hike, man. You got to get on all the bandwagons, baby. So hey, man, I'm on all of them, dog. So hey, man, what's happening? So there's a few that I refute, but hey, I'm in line, man. But yeah, this goes with it, man. And and to me, as far as this being, listen, the proof's in the pudding. I don't know how many times people have to scroll through Netflix. Yeah, not you, JD, but viewers. Now, how many times you have to scroll through Netflix, scroll through Hulu, scroll through Amazon Prime? Damn it, there's nothing on. But there's a million and whatever things on there, low key. Some of these are developed by the studios themselves or whatever they're doing. All the movies are doing the same thing. It's just different characters. It's the same scripts. It's the same plots. Why? What is this? Why do they keep filling this giant I can't even think of a word right now. This giant pool of media that people are just gonna watch, have his background stuff, and why are they doing that? It's not to entertain you anymore, in my book. Once you watch these things and you getting the messages through these things, they're putting people in there that you don't want to see. They're putting types of relationships in there that you don't agree with, or political views you don't agree with, and they're just giving it to you and forcing it to you. People keep complaining, they keep giving it to you. Why? Because it's not for you. It's for the kids that's dancing in that video. Because those kids that's dancing in that video are going to grow up one day and make political decisions and make romantic decisions and make all these other things that when they're of age, they're just going to think it's part of the game. And so me sitting here refuting these things, me making fun of these entertainers, for what they be doing. I mean, this is why at some point these people have to be viewed as the minstrel show, as you mentioned, as they really are. I'm not trying to get strike for any hate speech or anything, but just go ahead and put those two over there, Sexy Red and him in blackface, because that's what their pose is actually doing. They're humiliating and embarrassing us. And then look at what they're doing with the offsprings. I mean, it's granted, it's the parents and all. You get what I'm getting at. They are working for something to get paid to do this garbage. So call it out. Because quite frankly, bro, hey man, it's 2024, man. Yeah, things are gonna get wild, but that don't mean everybody gotta take this crap no more. Last thing I'll say: if there's people in the future that's watching these things, like 2050 something, not 2050, 2500 something, 500 years from now, y'all watching some salute of old YouTube videos. We here, baby. But when y'all watching this, everybody wasn't down with this garbage. Everybody didn't agree with this. Most people like us here at the Conscious Approach, we just want to just chill, make our money, go home. All this other extra stuff, we ain't signing up for none of this. So not everybody was down for this garbage that's going on nowadays. I just wanted to throw that out there because I know they're going to look back in history and go, those guys were idiots. Hey, wasn't all of us, baby. Wasn't all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. I firmly believe that the people who love this are the same people who hate all of this other stuff. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on with this particular subject, because to me, they're doing the same thing. Mm-hmm. Whatever the they, people like to use the word they, whoever they are, whatever you think they are doing to you, you're allowing it through the consumption of this. And you're allowing it when you are allowing your kids to do it. Because you're right, it's not for the adults, it's for the children. Although you do have a lot of man children walking around out here in these streets nowadays. So there's a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds, 45, hell, even 50-year-olds who will, be juking and jiving to Rich Baby Daddy My Drink. I've seen it.
I've seen it.
Yeah. So there it's for some of the adults too, but it's mostly for the youth, and the sole purpose of it is to control and wrangle purchasing behavior and personal behavior. It is to feed you information that will control those two aspects of your life. And if you have an issue with the world at large and things going on in society that you have a problem with, this thing over here, this secret thing over here, this device over here, this conspiracy over here, then stop actively contributing to one that they're throwing right in your face. They're giving you this one. This one is blatant. And y'all just eating it up. So that's the part about this kind of stuff that annoys me, because I'm tired of having conversations with people who have all of these grandiose political opinions about vaccines and politics, politicians, and all of these other various subjects, but you'll sit there on your feed for 5 hours a day. Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. They're doing the same thing. You look at a particular thing that they throw at you on your Instagram feed, an ad, next thing you know, you're at the mall buying some shit that you don't need. or your kid sees something on their feed and now they bugging you and you need to buy it because you need to shut your kid up and let your kid have it
Yeah,
because
right.
it's not worth the trouble of dealing with them moaning and whining about how you didn't get them what they wanted, especially when you throw peer pressure in there because, like I said, all their friends and all the other kids in their classes, they got it. You can't deny your kid that. So there you go. What created this thing? It wasn't you. It was the messages your kid is getting because we're actively consuming this thing in a very gluttonous fashion. So my whole thing is, I've said this before and I'll say it again. People need to become conscientious enough to understand and pick a side. If you got a problem with all of these tinfoil hat issues, then get a problem with this too. And if you want to live in a world where it's just open free range, social anarchy, everybody do what they want, who cares? Then stand on that. Stand on that. Go get the jab. Stop complaining about the politicians. Do all of that stuff if you really don't have a problem with this too. But you got people who are just over here and over there, and I'm cool with this, but not cool with that. Get out of here. Enough. So I'm with D1. I'm with D1. Again, shocker. He is right. It is mind control. Clearly, though, people don't care that it's mind control. They're going to consume it anyway. And you're going to let your kids consume it anyway. It is what it is. My whole thing is be consistent. Stand on some kind of principle. If you hate this stuff, then hate this too. And if you love this stuff, then go ahead and love this too. You know, that's all I got.
Hey, well said, brother. Hey, one thing about it, man, I talk about it a lot here. You know, when it comes to how I feel about these systems. All right, and yeah, I just think that this is just another example of what I be talking about when it comes to these things that eventually control uh, the mass behavior of people. Now, I don't really think that, you know, of course, there's people out here that don't allow their kids to be a part of that. But what I'm telling you is that a large group of people are. And then so the mess that we're seeing right now in society from the people that's supposed to be upholding it, you know, yeah, they were part of the mind control from back then. And things are tearing at the seams, low quality stuff. Yeah, man, you know, as intended. So yeah, if you want to put an end to it, man, you know, my letter of recommendation is to take these types of things that they call entertainment a lot more seriously, and don't just write it off and dismiss it, because again, there's no reason that those children should be doing that, and probably don't even know, you know, colors and numbers and multiplication. So hey, best of luck to you guys out there. I know what I'm doing, and I'm unplugging from the system, man.
Yeah. Why not, man? You know, rich baby daddy sexy. If you already know if it's Drake, it's gonna trend anyway. So, you know, Drake is the ultimate puppet master, whether he realizes it or not.
OVO, OVO, cuckoo, oh,
Six God. Six God.
I can't forget that. Yeah, I can't forget
Jesus.
that.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, boy. Haha.
All right. So Ja Rule wants everybody to know that he is on his way back. He wants his critics to kiss his ass.
Yeah.
Ja Rule recently inked a deal to return to the music industry that's valued at around 100 million. And he wants all the haters to know that they can stick it where the sun don't shine.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Ja.
Yeah, man. Ja Rule, man, one of the champions of the millennial generation when it comes to the music industry. He is on his way back, rising like a phoenix from the ash in the aftermath of the decimation at the hands of Curtis Jackson. And so this article says Ja Rule's new label deal worth 100 million, he alleges, while telling haters to SMD.
Whoa.
Yeah. After the fallout he faced from the Fire Festival fiasco of 2017, some thought Ja Rule's career would never recover. However, the embattled rapper has made significant strides in turning his life around since then and now has high hopes of rising to the top of the music industry again. Early on Thursday, which was January 4th, Ja logged on to Twitter/X to share some exciting news with his fan base. Quote, just signed my new label deal, potentially worth 100 mil. Let's effing go. The 47-year-old began before taking shots at anyone that's been praying for his downfall recently. Thanks for the love and thanks to the haters. Suck my bleep, he declared. Minutes later, in another post, Josh shared what vibes he plans to be on in the new year. Here's what's needed to be understood for 24. Hate is for suckers and dick riding is not a form of transportation.
Damn.
Laughing my ass off. It's getting you nowhere. Stop being goofy and get money. That's what Ja thinks. Less than an hour later, the mesmerized artist reminded us he's still got it when it comes to rhyming. So blah, 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 blah. Let's see. Bitch niggas hate, real ones congratulate. I need them asshole fans that go at people's head for talking bad on my name, laughing my ass off. My fans not savage enough.
Oh, okay. All right.
Afterward, he encouraged those who support him to go a bit harder when defending his name, like the Barbs do for Nicki Minaj.
Right.
I need them asshole fans that go at people's head for talking bad on my name. Laugh my ass off. My fans not savage enough. Ja observed, prompting many to come forward with stories of them sticking up for one of their favorite rappers, both on and offline. I've been defending you since the 6th grade. I'm 33 now, still defending you, LOL. Someone told him beneath his tweet. People hate when I say without Ja, there would be no Drake. So Ja Rule's on his way. Yeah. That's what some of his fans think, that there's no Drake without Ja Rule. Go figure.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, Ja Rule's on his way back, man. We're gonna see what he has in store for the rest of us. His new label deal is worth 100 mil. I would love to read the fine print on that deal personally. But we will take him at his word. What are your thoughts on Jeffrey Atkins? Making that comeback for 2024 with his label deal worth about 100 mil.
Well, I gotta tell you, he's starting off 2024 with a bang. Because one thing about it is we're talking about Ja Rule. Did we talk about Ja Rule last year? I don't think so.
This is the first time, I think. Yeah.
So we already starting off on a good foot. So, way to go, Ja, on that one. Now, what this article doesn't mention is that this is also in like some type of retaliation or something rigmarole going on with him and 50. Because 50 had posted this thing of him doing this, like him getting crucified thing at a show, and it was looking kind of weird. And so 50 was making fun of that. And then so then Ja Rule came back and was like, showed a thing of 50 doing hanging upside down in the club thing, and him saying, oh, basically like you can't say, it's a pot calling the kettle black thing. And so I guess he just wanted to double, triple down on how he feels this year and saying that, hey, he's inking a deal for music worth 100 million. Like, I'm like, whoa, like what kind of fentanyl is he on? He gotta be on something to be using such an astronomical number. Now, we covered here about a couple weeks ago a thing where we were talking about how the industry works. I think that was with Snoop, and how the industry works. And if they gave you like $1 million deal, that's $1 million loan plus interest. So you got to pay that $1 million back to the label, plus about $3, $4, maybe even $5 or $6 million. Now, that's in order to get out of that $1 million contract. Now, I don't know what kind of collateral you have for $100 million. But I tell you what, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you'll be doing for that $100 million, because how are you going to recoup that back? Honestly, the only person that could probably get that kind of advance to sustain it is probably Katy Perry. I don't even think Drake can sustain that. So, so I don't know how you're gonna pay this one off, Ja. All right, but I don't think anybody's buying you or your $100 million contract. Uh, what are your thoughts on Sir Atkins here claiming that he inked the deal worth 100 mil?
I remember when Ja Rule put out that album. I think it was called "Blood in My Eye." I think that was the name of it. And I think the lead single on the song was "Clap Back," which was him going at 50. That was like the most aggressive I had ever seen Ja Rule. And I'm pretty sure there are going to be some super Ja Rule fans who show up in the comments who correct us on, who correct us on instances in which Ja Rule was aggressive outside of that. But for me, someone who was a casual observer of Ja Rule and not a fan, that was the most aggressive that I had ever seen him. Other than that, he was, a easygoing, making songs about women and living life and getting money kind of guy. He was like that. He was like that hybrid R&B rapper. Back in the early 2000s. That was kind of what his sound was. And these ain't the early 2000s anymore. So for his sake, Ja, you probably ain't never gonna watch this video, but in the event that you happen to fall upon it, for your sake, sir, your best chance to be able to recoup that $100 million deal is you better figure out the best way for you to adapt to what popularized rap is today. So you're going to have to figure out how to do your best job of making songs where you'll talk about how you are gonna wife, strippers and porn stars. Better talk about how you'll pay for a chick's BBL surgery.
No, don't do it, John.
Yeah. He's gonna have to do that. He's gonna have to figure out the best way to make songs about how he's gonna pay for BBL surgeries and how he's smashing adult film actresses and strippers and how he's gonna take another dude's wife from him on purpose and take another dude's girl from him on purpose.
You already said
he's gonna have to figure out the best way to make those types of songs.
I got you.
Before Ja Rule used to be like, "Oh man, I like this girl. Whoop-de-whoop, we gonna see what it does. Here's how I'm feeling about you." But that doesn't work anymore. Ja's gonna have to now make songs like, "Yo, I seen your bitch and I want to take her. I got more money than you, bro, so I'm taking your bitch." Because that's what the music is now. Ja Rule's gonna have to figure out the best way to make songs in which he is talking about how he's better than everybody else because he's rich. Because that's what popularized hip hop is now. It's devoid of nuance. It's just if you're a dude, you're trapping, shooting, taking other dudes' women, shitting on everybody because you're rich, and killing people. And if you're a female, you're selling box to the highest bidder. I don't know what else female rappers rap about. That's from what I can tell. That's all I hear. And Jeffrey's not a female rapper. He's a male rapper. So he's going to have to figure out the best way for him to get with the times. He is certainly no Nas. He is certainly no, you mentioned Bun B. He is not Scarface. He is not one of these rappers who is talented enough to be able to curate his own sound and make his own music, even in this perverse content world that we now find ourselves in. I don't think he's good enough to do that. So he's going to have to figure out a way to be 44-year-old Drake. He's going to have to figure out a way to do that. So I look forward to it. And when I say that, I'm lying. I really don't. But I'm pretty sure when I'm listening to my Sirius XM in the next 6 months or so, I'm going to hear a Ja Rule song in which he is talking to me about how he's shitting on me because he's rich and how he'll take my girl because he's rich and pay for her BBL.
No.
Yeah. It's coming. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I feel vindicated in making these predictions because I know that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. So to Ja, in order for him to be able to recoup on that $100 million deal and not be indebted to the labels for it, at least not too long into perpetuity, he's going to have to figure out the best ways to adapt to the new sound of popularized rap, because that's what he's gonna have to do.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of. There's no way. There's no way. So even if it's a quarter of that, there's no way he's recouping this. I don't care what he does. I don't care what he does. Like he can literally just bite the styles and flows of whatever's popping right now. It'll never go. I'm sorry, man, but Ja was always a sideshow to me. And yeah, I'm saying this, guys.
Uh-oh.
Look, I'm sorry. But here's my thing is. So when DMX came out, my mind was blown. I was like, what's going on here? This is out of there. My mind was blown. Instant fan. Instantly. Then, then this guy comes around. And I was like, okay, to me, he was just like DMX light, DMX B. And then, so he was doing all this murder stuff at first. So I was like, okay, whatever. And back then I wanted all that. But I didn't want it like how he was doing it because it was too aggressive. It was like, bro, nobody really murdering people like this stuff. Murder. So I'm like, all right, whatever, bro. And then he went straight R&B. So I'm like, bro, how you go from shoot 'em up, bang, bang, I'm in the street like DMX, to this whole thing over here where you're just cupcaking these women and trying to be like Nelly. I couldn't stand it. To me, he was always in the cornball category. I'm sorry, I'm going there. And that whole charade, he didn't, that whole charade that he did in 2017, where he finessing those people out their cash for some type of fantasy island getaway, that he was at the top of the Ponzi scheme. It's just like, who is this guy really? So honestly, this is just another example of Ja just doing Ja things. And to me, he lives in his own bubble, in his own galaxy world where he is the man. And that's not admirable. Not when you're delusional like this. But to me, I think it's actually hilarious. So when I saw him, just hollering from his own echo chambers that, he's the hottest thing out and he needs his own beehive. I'm like, bro, hey man, I've been here since middle school, baby. I'm 33. And it's just like, nah, man, like y'all need to find somebody else. And because I know y'all good people at the core. There's other people to defend than Ja Rule. And as you can see, he doesn't even appreciate y'all. So to me, this whole thing was hilarious to me. I got a good chuckle out of it. But I honestly would like to listen to whatever he comes out with this year. I'd like to see what the label invested in. And I'll give like 2 or 3 streams. That contributed to like less than nothing. So I mean, I don't know how many streams he's gonna need for 100 mil, but hey,
like 0.1 of 0.1 1 10-second stream is probably like 0.1 of 1% or something like that.
If Snoop had a billion streams for 43K, I don't know how many streams you need for 100 mil, big dog. So good luck with that, man. Good luck with that.
I just
paying that off.
Yeah, I just think that he is going to have to figure out what his sound is going to be. He's going to have to figure out the best way to make popularized 2024 rap, which is all the stuff that I mentioned before. That's what he's going to have to do. If he makes that kind of music and he does it effectively, and furthermore, if he features a lot of these, agents of mind control in his music, he might be able to sustain something.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah. Will he be able to sustain all of it? Probably not. I'm with you on that. But who knows, man? All he has to do is he throws Drake on a song here, put 21 Savage on a song there, put
Megan Thee Stallion.
Put her on one of these songs on another song, put JT Young, put one of the City Girls on another song.
3,000 bodies.
Yeah. Yeah. He'll be able to shake something. He'll be able to shake something. Yeah. Get NBA Young Boy on a song, he'll be able to shake something, He'll have his albums, Murder, Murder, Death, Kill, Trap House,
You bet
and then
not. You bet
and
not.
then Take Your Girl, Pay for Your Surgeries on other songs, and I'll trick for it. It ain't tricking if you got it right.
Hey, bro, I think you
Uh,
should come out with a song just straight up saying all of this stuff. I think that thing could be a banger, Hey, I just took your girl. I got more money than you. Like all of that, just in a row, just like that,
yeah.
bro. I swear it'll be a classic. I
Oh
might cook
yeah,
something up. Man. We'll see.
not a bad idea. Yeah, if you put me in front of a mic, I'll write something. I'll write something. They'll come from my head, but who cares? I'll definitely write it. But that'll do it for tonight's stream. Appreciate everybody for checking us out, for clicking on this or any of our videos. We certainly appreciate it as we continue to curate this logical content over here on the Conscious Approach channel on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. My name is JV Wins, and that is Dogon SS. You can find me on Instagram at JV Wins, JVWINS. Conscious Approach is also on Instagram at Conapproach, CONAPPROACH. If you happen to be checking out this video on the Facebook page, go ahead and like and follow that page too. Comment wherever you are watching any of our videos. We certainly appreciate the engagement. And if you have not already done so, and this is your first time catching wind of what we like to do over here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. We certainly appreciate it as we continue to grow this community here on our little corner of the internet. So until the next time, until the next stream, until the next video, we thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the flip side.
Yes, sir. And the name is Dogon SS. And you can find me on Instagram at Dogon_SS and on YouTube at Dogon_SS. Also on DraftKings, send me an @ season almost over. I'm gonna come take your cash. All right. And I'm also on TikTok. So I don't post no videos, but my comments be going hammer. Follow me over there, Dogon_SS. And as I say on every pod, guys, all right, don't be too high, don't be too low. Keep it calm, keep it chill, keep it player. And don't let anybody get you off your pivot. So until the next time, everybody, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Skr.
Yes, sir. Shouts out to the Heat. Without Jimmy Butler, beat the Lakers last night. I enjoyed every second of that. Now we need to do this as a topic. We need to because now there are reports coming out that there are problems with Darvin Ham. Shocker.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Check it out on ESPN. Check it out on ESPN. Now there's an issue with Darvin Ham's coaching. Oh yeah, LeBron team, and the team's not doing well, and so now we're starting to blame the coach. Shocker.
Hey man.
But shouts out to my Heat for laying that wood to that trash out there in LA. We certainly appreciate that. Other than that, we will catch you on the next video. Another Conscious Approach episode in the books. We will see you later. Peace.
Go Canes. Go Canes. Hell yeah.